And joining me now for more is my colleague Nazir Masoodi and Zafar Iqbal. And Nazir, if I can come to you first, news that came in a short while ago. Journalists were beaten up by the police in Sopore district. They were covering, in fact, one of those protest marches. Tell us more, Nazir.
Divya, it was a small protest march in Sopore town, which is an island of the separate sport base. And these journalists from the AFP, AP, Reuters, and the Asian Age photographer, they were covering it, and they were beaten up by the police. One of the AP, these photographers, Mukhtar Ahmed, has received head injuries, and other journalists have also received injuries in the police lathi charge. The journalist Mukhtar has been now shifted to Srinagar for the specialized treatment because he has, what we have been told, he has received serious injuries. Now we have been told, after we reported, there have been very clear directions have been given to the police to register an FIR against those policemen who have beaten up these journalists in Sopore. And there have been small protests in Baramulla town also, where I am. This also a separatist bastion, and here largely people have not come out for vote. They have stayed away from voting. But in the rural areas, in Badgam and in Baramulla districts, in all the 12 constituencies, people are coming out in large numbers, participating in voting the way people participating in first, second and third phase of polling. So really a clear divide between the urban and rural areas in this Baramulla district. And so far the discourse was that people have been voting. They are defying boycott calls. They are linking a resolution of process of Kashmir with the electoral process. But here, since separates are insisting that you should link it with the resolution process elections, here in the urban areas of Baramulla, people are staying away from this voting. Perhaps it is some way shrinking the separatist base also. It is not only...
If I can interrupt you there and ask you, what was the immediate provocation for the police to have in fact beaten up the journalists? What really happened there?
Divya, I spoke to journalists who were beaten up. They said there was no provocation. The only thing there was a protest going on by a small group of separatists there in Sopore town. Once they started taking photographs of that, this shooting, that incident of this protest, police immediately came. They beaten up them with lathis, with the rifle butts, so they received injuries. So they said there was no provocation, except they were covering a separate protest. That's why now the government has taken some action. They are registering an FIR against those policemen who have beaten these journalists. Early in the morning, there was some problem today in the morning. We were even not allowed to enter into a polling station at a place called Singpora. But after we reported, immediately Election Commission sent strong directions to the police and the administration not to stop any journalists from entering these polling booths. In fact, this intervention, official intervention in the poll process was actually the compromising the transparency. We have seen utmost transparency in the electoral process so far. So they want to ensure that elections are completely transferred. Since there's no coercion this time and people are coming of their own free will and participating in large numbers. And those people who chose to boycott, they are boycotting. Like this polling station, here people have chosen to boycott.